For today's Tratitude, I bring you straight to the ground of what is Manlius Pebble Hill School, because, as it turns out, my brother-in-law, see the Falk name, upstate, we got some upstate pride, my brother-in-law went right to this school. Yeah. When he was a young pup living in New York. So, I guess maybe we'll start with a little bit of the history of the school itself before we get into the interesting Falk history behind all things Falky and weird. All right, let's just see how the school, this is a pretty darn nice school, huh? I guess, if you're going to send your kid to a private school, make it a nice private school. So, Manlius Pebble School's history dates back to the founding dates of the Manlius School in 1869. Wow. All right. MPH, that's not miles per hour, Manlius Public High School. Oh, or public school, whatever. Public, it's kind of like Britain. They call private schools public schools over there too. It's weird, but all right. So, 1887 is recognized as being for its St. John's enrollment. It was renamed in 1888 to the Manlius School, and it had an Episcopal bishop. Falks are Jewish, but it's an all-American thing. You can be anything in America, right? Okay, any race, religion, lack of religion, it's all accepted here. Now we're getting to the close of the time that Bruce would have been coming on the scene of the private school, because if your father is the president of the New York Institute of Photography, you're going to send your kid away to a really good private school, right? Piece of property in Pebble Hill area of Orville. Oh my God. Is that an Orville Association? Michael has an Orville Association. Shannon Falk has an Orville Association too. In California. Right now I'm just associating with uptight, upstate New York. Little Falk history. All right. Now it's part of the town of Dewitt. Kind of like I'm almost part of the town of Dewitt. Pebble Hill School was founded in 1920s as a non-sectarian thing. By the time of Verbeck's death, I guess that's the guy who, the hydrant ran out, whatever. All right. It kept being private. By the time of his death in the 1930s, Manlius School had become one of the top military schools in the United States. And unlike Michael Falk, who could not, for the life of himself, graduate from NYMA, New York Military Academy. This was another loser that's all in orange too. He was running for president this year, yes. He was the class of 64. Not Michael Falk. Michael Falk was the class of 65. He didn't graduate. It's a feeder school for West Point. They don't want Trump's or Falk's school. Anyway, speaking of Falks, let me give you a peek at my brother-in-law. There he is. Brucey Falk. Because that's when my marriage sort of went bad, when he died on a day of infamy. Well, the date's infamous. December 7th, 1941. Bruce Falk also happened to pass away on that day. So, let me give you the obituary of my brother-in-law in case my kids are watching this and they want to know their Falk history, because it's going to get close to Syracuse. It actually winds right out to Forestville. Well, that's where I raised my kids, in the forest where we couldn't see anything through the trees. Okay. Bruce Robert Falk, which is actually sometimes he goes by Rogert, but for the obituary's purposes, he's Robert. Okay, fine. Of West End, Long Branch, and Jackson Hole, Wyoming, passed away Wednesday, December 7th at his daughter's home in Sherman Oaks, California, after a valiant struggle with pancreatic cancer. that is the beginning of the end of, well, that's the end of the Falk marriage, Shannon and Michael Falk, because Michael Falk was there in Sherman Oaks, and he called his wife up and, things you don't want to hear over your brother-in-law's, get that. He calls up Shannon Falk, because she's in NorCal. She can't be around anything to do with Falk. He's down there at this hospital where Bruce is passing away. Michael Falk calls me and says, guess what? I just hugged Nicolette Sheridan and her nipples get hard. Now, mind you, we are in therapy for sex addiction. And I'm like, that's kind of gross. So I tell the therapist, and we've been there for 4 years for my apparent flaming addiction to painkillers because I had chronic pain. But I stopped all that. My prescription actually was to get a divorce. The pain went away. You don't have any more urethritis when you divorce a Falk. Get other problems though. Okay, back to Brucey, hey? Mr. Falk graduated from the Manlius Military Academy. Dun, 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 dun. Where's that flag? Yes, okay. He was a member, what's he? Oh, he attended Syracuse. That's funny, Syracuse. There's even a Maxwell Falk School for the Humanities. Oh, the humanity. We'll get to that soon enough. Mr. Falk, after he graduates, and he attends Syracuse University. He was the co-owner of Travel Concepts in Oakhurst, a commercial pilot with Garden State Airlines, and a flight instructor at Amityville Flying Services in Amityville, New York. You can't make it up. It's scary because it gets worse. Here. Executives dying in plane crashes. Oh no! Who's the pilot? Bruce Falk, of course. And co-pilot Donna Lee Flaum, later to be known as Donna L. Falk in New York. Where she's going to split some shares with the Falk. This Falk here. Anyway, let's see about the crashing plane incident. 5 persons, including the chairman and the chief executive officer of Prudential Insurance Company in New York, were hospitalized today. This is a great one. After the plane crash that killed the wife of another Prudential executive. Hey, if you're going to kill someone in a plane crash, make sure the guy is it's his wife and he owns a life insurance company or Prudential Insurance. I'm sure he got a good payout. The Charter 2 engine pilot crashed in a wooded, swampy area on its return to Cape Cod. Never works out that way. Donna Falk actually walks with a hobble. She hurt herself. She's 26, little year-old co-pilot. They don't say that in here, but it's in the history. It's hysterical. Oh God. So a reported engine failure. Yeah, that was the cause of the crash. And it's actually last year. There's a YouTube video. I should link it. Somebody actually urbexed and found this wreck. The wreck of the Falk wreck. Back to the other Falk wreck. Here we are. Okay, Bruce. The good... Well, are there good Falk brothers? There's just weird Falk brothers and weirder Falk brothers. But he was the more, let's say, high-minded, high-achieving. He's not Michael Falk, who's the... What is Michael going by these days? A artist, a writer, a poet, a philosopher, and a realtor, and a surfer, runner from New York. Run, baby, run. I'm in New York. Uh-oh. But we're back to Bruce. Okay. So, he was a member of the U.S. ski team from 1950 to 1952. Yeah, what to do in upstate if you're in Manlius? Go up to Lake Placid, right? You get to be in a ski jump team? That's a rich man's sport right there, ain't it? Okay. Well, we'll get back to Bruce's ski jumping. Apparently he was very good. He was very short, all 5 feet of him. You just kind of lean forward and go for it. Okay. Let's see. And he is a member of FIS International Ski Jump Judge for the world-class Olympic events, being assistant chief measurer Shockaroo, 1980 at the Olympics in Lake Placid, New York. Mr. Falk is an executive president. Oh, Mr. Falk was being the operative word, the executive vice president of New York Institute of Photography. Max and Zoe Falk, if you're listening, if you ever see this video, this is your Falk history, okay? Yeah, there's more than the narcissistic Willitts in your world. The Falks had done a few things too. Mr. Falk was, okay. Oh, well, at least he wasn't going off as a photographer. He says he was a photographer, that's fine. He's not a philosopher and an artist and well, Michael's he's an artist, all right, as in con artist, but that's to be continued. Let's see. Mr. Falk, of course, he's the vice president. His father, Samuel, my father-in-law, Samuel Fortune Falk, fortunately was the president. Fortunately, everything went through my mother-in-law. Fortunately, my mother-in-law named me as her successor in Florida. Fortunately, Samuel's will did not probate till 1991, and we were married in 1989. California, we call that community property. Mr. Falk, indeed. Okay. Anyway, the man from New York was the former president of the Spring Creek Ranch Homeowners Association in Jackson Hole. I'm guessing that's where Billy got the idea, like, if he could develop something in Jackson Hole, Billy could have, like, sisters in South Willits Road and West Reed Road and Kahlberger. I don't know. Narcissists name roads for themselves. Folks just, they have limited liability companies and shell companies and all these things, and they just have street addresses so you don't notice them. That's how really rich people keep their money. But he was Mr. Falk, the other Falk, the Falk that's right from here. Right from here. I just go right here. He was an avid horseman, a lover of the outdoors, a lifeguard, a passionate swimmer. He loved traveling with his wife. I guess they were all flying first class, right? He was terribly missed by his family, his business associate, especially by Poco J. Pepper, born in New York. He lived in Long Island. I don't know if that means the pepper guy or whatever, but yeah. And Bruce is survived by, where was he survived by? Let's see, on the old Find a Grave, shall we? Well, let's see, he had 3 daughters, Lisa Ann, Suzanne, Joanne. He is also survived by his other family, his brother, Michael Falk, and their 3 children. Yep. John Falk, that's what the obituary says. The artist formerly known as Jonathan Samuel Barry Falk. If you're extraordinarily wealthy, you just change your last name to Human, and then you think that makes you one. You took the Falk money, you're Falk. And don't blame it on Judaism when you sell somebody out. Please, please, please. Anyway, yes, he was survived by his brother, Michael Falk, his sister-in-law, Shannon Falk, Max and Zoe Falk, and the artist formerly known as Jonathan Samuel Barry Falk, who now goes by Human, has Grass Valley connections. I don't mean that in like smoking grass. Well, he did have a medical dispensary open for grass, but his Grass Valley apparently, where he's living and enlisting my son to be a realtor to keep a secret, eh? Let me let the secret out. Max and Zoe, New York is your heritage. You are born Falk. Sorry, hate to tell you. Falk you. Love you, Max and Zoe. Always love my little Maxie and Zoe. The truth is my shield.